Why hello there. Welcome to Brawlhalla, the game that is definitely not going to get compared to Super Smash Bros. As a newcomer to this righteous game, I'm sure you have many questions, but in due time, they will be answered. An important question you may be asking is, what legend should I main? That's a very good question. There are over 50 legends nowadays, so picking a main at first might be a daunting task. But worry not, lost soul, for I, TrippedUp, shall help you on your journey. Okay, I'm gonna cut this act now. Alright, so over 4 years ago, I started playing this game, and when it came time to pick a legend, I just went with the one that had the name of my favorite CSGO map, Mirage. Which, by the way, that's the dumbest reason to choose a legend, but that's what I did. And hey, 4.5 years later, I still play Mirage, and I still suck, so it's basically like nothing changed. But what I don't want is people making the same mistake I did, which is why today I'm going over the best legends in Brawlhalla for a newcomer to pick in 2021. Naturally, I'll start with the most divisive legend of all time, Taros. Now, if you're watching this video and you're a gold player, there are two things you could be thinking right now. On one hand, you're thinking, oh hey Taros, I play him. On the other hand, you got Yeah, it's fair to say that Taros isn't well liked. However, he is a good legend to start out with. Taros has Axe, which is one of the most straightforward weapons in the game. It has good damage, it has reliable combos, it has good range. Honestly, there's not much you can't do with Axe, except getting people to like you. A lot of Taros players get tempted to stay with Axe. However, I think playing Hammer is also a good option as well. It does require more practice, but it'll be worth it in the end. Of course, the real reason everyone hates Taros is not because of the weapons, or at least, not completely. It's more like because of his signatures that make you want to Alt F4 in real life. All of his SIGs are easy to spam with, and they have absurd hitboxes, which is why gold players hate him so much, because they don't know how to punish properly. However, I will agree that it is annoying when someone plays Taros and they actually know what they're doing. So if you decide to pick up Taros, just please promise me that you won't spam his SIGs. Please? Now let's say you do want to play a straightforward and easy legend, but don't want to play the most annoying one in the game. Well, I have the perfect one for you. Brynn. Brynn has the two most simple weapons of the game, Axe and Spear. And no, I'm not saying that Axe and Spear are the two easiest weapons in the game to play, that goes to Sword and Bow. However, I do think they're the most straightforward. Her Axe, of course, is very good. In fact, Axe for every Axe legend is very good. I know, a shocker there, isn't it? I think I've given enough reasoning for why Axe is good, so I'll leave it at that. Brynn's Spear, however, well, let's just say N-Sig. Yeah, if you get in a D-Light combo against Brynn and you don't have a dodge, well, let's just say you're probably dead. If you decide to play Brynn, utilize her Spear SIGs as best as you can. All three of them are good for different situations. The N-Sig is good for a D-Light kill confirm, the side SIG is good for damage, and the D-Sig is good for covering the edge. Her signatures on the Axe are good too, but in my opinion, her Spear is her stronger weapon, so I plan to use that more than her Axe. If you want to get good with Brynn, figure out how to use those SIGs to your advantage. Seriously, they'll help you out a lot. And while you're at it, just completely reject the Axe. Like, just take it out of the game. Just delete it from the files. Just get rid of it. Okay, I think I'm gonna move away from Axe for now. Let's talk about Hattori. Just like Brynn, Hattori also has straightforward and easy weapons, being the sword and the spear. Despite this, I think that Hattori is one of the best legends in the game. Her stats aim more towards agility, which is why the fact that she has sword and spear makes her so good. Both weapons have combos that benefit from good agility. Her signatures on her spear are pretty good. Her N-Sig is quick, and her D-Sig, although being really slow, is actually good to catch people off guard with. But as many people know, Hattori is known for one SIG and one SIG only. The neutral SIG for her sword. Here's a demonstration on what it feels like to get N-Sig dunked by Hattori off stage.
Dude, check out what came for you in the mail.
Oh yeah! What is it?
That being said, if you plan on using Hattori, then you better use this SIG. Sword is already one of the best weapons for edge guarding, so this SIG just makes it 10 times easier. Getting good with Hattori is pretty easy. Just learn a couple combos for both her weapons, and use that neutral SIG. I'm not kidding. It works. The next legend I want to talk about moves away from the simpler weapons, but is still good for beginners. Petra. I mean wait, no, Petra? No, wait, Petra is an orb and gauntlets legend. Playing both of these weapons can get pretty complex, especially the gauntlets. However, if you're up to the challenge, I believe it pays off if you learn how to play her. Orb attacks with her orb and sig just work perfectly together. To be honest, it's just a great anti-air in general. It has a big hitbox, it hits fast, and it hits hard. I'm not too big a fan of her other orb sigs, but they're not bad. But let's talk about Petra's neutral sig on the gauntlets, cause that's a whole different story. Let me set the scene. You're in the middle of a late night gaming session when you go against a Petra and experimental. You think, no problem, this should be easy. Then all of a sudden, you're playing against this.
Bro, please, bro, why are you do?
And you know what? It works. It works. Because it's that good of a sig. Petra's neutral sig for gauntlets is so fast that I can only think of one sig that rivals it in speed, which is Cross's end sig for gauntlets. My favorite part is that you know your opponent's going to be fuming at you afterwards, but since there's no chat anymore, you can just spam emotes at them, and they can't do anything about it except for leave. Overall, I'd say learning Petra is more of a risk than learning the other legends I've talked about thus far, but it is a pretty good legend to learn nonetheless. Honestly, the biggest mistake you can make is picking Scythe first, because it's the most complicated weapon. It has no true combos and everything relies on reads. But if you're like me and don't care, then you might as well pick Munin. Munin is by far the best Scythe character right now, as her kit is pretty overtuned. Her weapons are Scythe and Bow, and that is a deadly combination. Just like Hattori, Munin is also an agility based character, which, in a game where movement is everything, that's pretty important. But what's best of all is that she has two of the most annoying dunk sigs to date in this game. So much so that her side sig for the bow is now called the Munin Dunk in my videos. If you want to learn more about Munin, I made an entire video on her that you can find by looking at the top right corner of this video. Seriously though, do not pick a Scythe character for your first main unless you understand the fundamentals and basics of the game. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, and I don't think you want that. Well guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. If you noticed, I got a new banner and profile picture. That's right, TrippedUp has gone professional. I got the big boy pants on. I'm just kidding, I'm the same old idiot I've always been. Anyways, I'm out of here.